Hi, this is a foreigner living in the Philippines. Well, what do you do when you get up in the morning and you find that somebody I think in the west coast of America is actually cutting and splicing what you've said into different sentences and words and making out that you are cheating everybody that you deal with. Not just that, but making some pretty nasty remarks and accusations against your wife. Well, I can only tell you what I do. I continue doing what I'm doing, and for those good friends that we've made that say to me, you've got to stop explaining yourself, I'm going to tell you this. When you're under attack, when you're the flavor of the month on the attack list of all of the bottom feeders who have gained some kind of celebrity on the internet, you try to bring people up to date, and you get up, you make yourself another cup of coffee, and you look at what you've done. Well, in just over a year, this is what we've done. This is before we ever made it onto the internet, onto YouTube. We built a road. We built a bridge which would affect a lot of people. Now, I'm probably going to miss out a lot of what we've done, but I'm going to tell you what we've done, just in case you are one of those people who's come to have a look at what this scammer Terence Flannery and his wife look like. Well, this is what we look like. This is what we've done. We gained a great number of friends who are standing by us in such an incredible way, and we are so grateful for that. Now, what we've actually achieved, we've done with the help of relatively few people who have given incredibly generously in order that we could do what we've done. All right? Now, what have we done? Well, you have to look back. When you get attacked and accused of horrendous cheating and all of this, it's a natural thing that you look back and say, well, what did we actually do? Well, this is what we actually did. We found a girl, Desiree, who was crippled and didn't have a house, and we went along to see her, and we built a house. And then we found a paralyzed man who was bedridden. This is all through Pastor Timio. And we went along there and we thought we have to do something about this. And we built him a house. Unfortunately, it was too late for him. He'd already died, and we helped his family instead. Next door, just a few yards away, were 3 little girls. Actually, it was 4 little girls, but for some reason, when we first went there, I thought it was 3, and the title stuck, 3 Little Girls. And we knocked their house down, which didn't take much because the thing was practically falling down anyway. This was the story of the 3 little girls who, well, let's call them 4 little girls, who had to be woken up at night because when it rained, they had to move to a dry place. Can you imagine that life? Well, we changed that, and we gave them a house, a modest house, but one that was dry and safe and secure, and a place where their father could earn some kind of a living making motorcycle repairs, which apparently he had a talent for. So, what happened after that? I'm looking at a little list that I led. That was part of the paralyzed man house, the 3 little girls' house, and Beanie's house were part of a target that we had just before Christmas. And we said, we're going to make 3 houses. We're going to rehouse safely, securely 3 families before Christmas. This was just in weeks to go. And with the great skills of Pastor Timio and his Superman crew, we did that. We got those people rehoused in good houses. Okay, well, what did we do after that? Well, during that time, Michael, a young man who was a diabetic, came up to us and asked us for help. We're not very good at saying no. and we helped him, took him to hospital against a lot of opposition from his family, who, for some reason, and you never quite know the reasons in Filipino life, because of a cultural difference. So there are reasons that people object to, and you never actually quite know what it was. But we managed to work through that, got him to hospital. He spent a couple of days in hospital, got rehydrated, and we came out, we got him to the doctor, and we've now got him with, he is set up so that he can get his insulin. Now, what has happened since then? Looking at this list, well, that's about the time that we met Nisa. And Nisa has proved to be quite a challenge for us in our helping. Who's this? Just in case you don't know, this person who is now doing what?
I just got up.
You just got up. Okay, that's my wife. Now, so Nisa. Well, Nisa had what looked like a fist growing out of her back, and she was an old school friend of, more of an old school acquaintance of Beth, my wife. And Beth said, can't we help her? So we did, and we raised a lot of money, which was expressly for the purpose of helping her medical, and we got her to a surgeon on Cebu at a top hospital, and he told us that if she didn't have the operation she would eventually die, because her back is gradually bending over and over and over like this, and she won't be able to breathe. Well, we did what we could. We spent, from the money that we were given, we spent 62,000 pesos. I'm not going to talk in dollars anymore. We spent 62,000 pesos getting her to and fro the hospital. Now, only one person who donated money has argued about the use of that money since, because she is saying, well, I donated that for medical expenses, not for taxis or transport or gas or anything like that. Let me just address that one special person who is demanding that. You can have the money to have a procedure, but if you can't get there, then the money is no good to you. So part of the cost of getting Nisa medical in those early days, which is when you, ma'am, donated the money, which we used, part of it was getting on a ferry, taking her to another island, getting in taxis, because what would we do? Walk? No. Getting her to a taxi, feeding her, taking care of her. Never mind our time, two of us babysitting this lady who needed help. We don't begrudge that. But no, the money that you donated is gone. And you have to understand that. And it's gone in getting this girl medical assistance. Now, a lot of people suspected that all that the girl wanted was just to have money spent on her. And boy, she did. We spent more on building her a house. Now, what's building her a house got to do with medical expenses? Well, I'll tell you. What would you do with a girl who had just had spinal surgery? Would you bring her back to a house with no doors, no windows, and a dirt floor? No. So while we were waiting for her to recover her health, taking medication, feeding her so that she'd put on a little weight and her hemoglobin would rise, we built her a house. And we gave her more than anybody else that we built a house for. We gave her running water at great cost. And she has a bathroom with a toilet and things which are unheard of, even to Pastor Timio himself right now. So we did a great deal. And on the last night before her scheduled surgery, Beth texted her and said, "Don't forget, tomorrow, early to the ferry and Cebu." And she didn't say, "I'm not doing the operation." She said, "What for?" Now that really tells you a lot, doesn't it? Up to that point, she was willing to go again to Cebu. Why? If she's not intending to have the operation, why? Well, this is something that we'll never know. But for those who followed this drama, you'll know what happened next, how her loyalties changed. And when we had a meeting the other day, she totally ignored Beth and myself, which should tell you something about the motives. What that has done is it's caused a lot of disturbance in families, our family, Pastor Timio's family, Marife's family, and all of those things. Let me set something straight about payment. Now, it's been said that, well, what did Terry do? He didn't do anything. All he did, just handed over money that he'd been given by somebody else. Yeah, let me tell you, 43,000 of the almost 100,000 that we paid for the mother of Marife to have her operation, 43,000 was ours. It had been given to us to meet our possible attorney fees, which we're probably going to face as we go for a non-profit foundation, which is what we're going to create so that we can continue helping people. Right, now that money, 43,000, was ours. We gave that willingly as a gift to make up the money that was needed for the operation. So now we're straight on that, okay? Now, what else has been going on? Well, in meeting Michael, the diabetic boy, we've also met his grandfather, and his grandfather came and said, "Can you help me? Because I'm losing my sight." Now, the trolls out there will be saying, "Oh, more sad stories to get more money." Yeah, it's a sad story, and we're being asked for help. So we took him to an eye doctor in Taliban, and the eye doctor said, "Sorry, this is not just a pair of glasses. You're going to have to take him in because he is going to go blind in the right eye." What can be done? Well, we know, and I know especially because I took my friend Philip in for one of his eyes that he was having done for cataract surgery. And apparently now they've found a doctor who can come to Taliban, has the equipment, and can do this surgery. And it was done very successfully now on both eyes of our friend Philip. And he is absolutely delighted. Well, this morning we're going to take the grandfather in, and we're going to have him looked at by the surgeon. But it looks pretty certain that we're going to have him with surgery. Where are we going to get that money from? The money that was designated for medical, for NISA, all of the donors, with the exception of the one that I've just said, all of them said, "We don't want that money." That money was designated. We gave it, this is almost to a man, to a woman. We gave that so that someone could have surgery, and now her decision is that she doesn't want to do that. Well, use that money for someone who is grateful and appreciative of what you can do. So what have we done with that? Well, contrary to some of the accusations, we didn't take off and go on for a vacation in Baguio or Boracay. What we've done is we've designated that money because of the agreement, because of the permission of the people who gave that money, and we've given that money. Who is this person again?
Yeah.
Who are you?
I just want to be in cameo on the video.
Okay.
Yeah, I just.
Well, I don't think anybody's going to complain.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what have we done? The grandfather, we are hoping that we'll be able to get his surgery. If we can get PhilHealth, that means getting deductions, refunds. We're hoping that instead of paying the 17 or 18,000 per eye that our friend Philip had to pay, that we might be able to get it down to 10,000 an eye. Now, the people that keep telling us, well, you can get all kinds of things free. Yes, I heard that when I was in America. You can go in and they can't refuse you. Well, people die in America in the corridor while they're waiting for their insurance to be checked, and it's no different here. So, we're going to take the grandfather in tomorrow. Today, and we're going to get some good news. That's what we hope. And we're going to work at doing that the same as we did for the mother of Marife. We got her on PhilHealth. We got her the refunds that we possibly could, and we spent as little as what? We paid for the operation in its entirety. And that's a fact. And that's a fact that's backed up by receipts, which we have shown on our video. Okay, so back to the grandfather, and forgive me if I'm acting like a grandfather by wandering backwards and forwards on these subjects, but we're going to take him in today. Now, the other thing is that yesterday, I think it was yesterday, lovely May went to
the Taliban.
To Taliban.
We met her on the way, so I just asked her if she can go to if she's going to Tagbilaran, and I can just give her some money for the checkup. So I supposedly gave her yesterday, but we came home late.
Okay, so anyway, the short story on that is that we've suggested that when her grandmother goes up to Tagbilaran, she go with her, and she has an examination for a cyst in one of her breasts. We're going to help her with that too. And so we've got that going there on the medical. Okay, what else have we got going? Well, we're building Timio a house. I'm personally not going to knock a single nail in, because most of the time they just prop me up in a corner, don't they? He has I'm looking at the list. He has 6 men working for him. Right, so not only is a house being built for Timio, who has been a slave on making all of these houses happen. He's the one that gets in on the site, rolls up his sleeves, and gets the job done along with his men, what I call his Superman team. Okay, now there's that, and there's Gilbert, who is what we call the grassroots pastor in Ubay, and he's building a house. Now, if you've been on Facebook and if you've looked at the videos, you'll know what this looks like. Now, apart from these 2 men who will benefit with their families, Timio has a family of 8, and Pastor Gilbert has a family of 5. Apart from that, we've given employment. Now, in the case of Timio, he's employing 6 men. In the case of Gilbert, he's employing 3 men. That puts food on the table for those people. So it's a win-win situation all round, and that's where that money will go. If there's any left over, well, we'll find somebody who is grateful to have that help, and we'll help them. Now, why would I bother to tell you all of this? Because out there now, we've got someone who's stepped up the game of attacking us. As I said, we are the flavour of the month. We've got these self-made celebrities and celebrity sites who are saying these horrendous things about us.
I saw it yesterday. Oh my gosh. They're clipping videos one by one so that it looks like it looks like true, you know.
What she's trying to
My
say
God.
is that they're editing the videos
Yeah,
with the vocals
yeah.
so that it looks as if what we're saying is something else.
Yeah.
That's what's happening. So
Like-
they've stepped the game up now. They're not just making false accusations, they're making false videos. Now,
Yeah.
we already had this, didn't we? When somebody stole all our videos and posted them on their own site, on their own channel on YouTube. It seems that there is no limit to their out of ethics, out of integrity actions. And now we have someone who is seeking justice for Nisa. Oh boy. How isn't it an irony that people who are supposedly seeking justice have never looked at our videos, have never looked at where the money goes, have never looked at the accounting that Beth does, have never watched any of the work in progress of all the houses that we have built, all the we didn't even mention the other house of Rado with the crippled son. We never mentioned that. We put with the help of our donors, we put a pump into his well, so now he has running water.
Yeah. So I just have a message to you, whoever you are, whoever your allies are. Bye-bye.
See, so in other words, to get back to my original question, what do you do when you get up and you find all of this happening? Well,
A lot of lies there, so
you make
who
yourself
cares?
you make yourself a cup of coffee and you sit down and you make this video, which you hope will redress, at least for some, what is actually happening. So in other words, when you hear words come out of my mouth and you will hear words come out of Beth's mouth, ask yourself what the channel is that you're watching and listening on before you start believing everything that you're told. Now, we are just continuing to do what we do because there is no other way. There is no other way but to go down and continue to help Pastor Timio with his house. There is no other way than to take Grandpa in for his eye surgery. There is no other way. You just have to do what you've started and let everybody else do what they want. Now, we did have what I think of as a ceasefire between our channel and another channel, even though prior to any meeting that we had already, Beth and I had already sat down and said, we're going to get rid of all of this negativity and we're going to have our feel-good channel. Does that mean getting rid of trolls who have vicious criticism? Damn right it does. We don't want it. Why would we give anybody a platform? So we're not doing that. We're getting on and we're doing the things that we love doing. And we're going to continue doing those because we have no other choice. We have projects that we've started and we're going to finish them. Now, what we do on our projects is all dependent on you. It's dependent on what you want to do about help. Now, my old saying is, we do what we can with what we've got. Now, as I said, what we've got, what we've had, what we've done has been dependent on out of 4,500 people that follow us, subscribe, we've actually had only a handful of really able, firm, dedicated people who have sent the money to be able to do all of those things which I told you we've done. And that's what we'll continue to do as long as people find it in their hearts to be stirred. And we've got enough to do the projects that we've got right now. just about enough. What will we do after that? Well, we'll make our videos. Let me see. How hard do we work at that? Well, yesterday we uploaded 4 videos, and the day before we uploaded 11. Now let me ask Beth off camera, what's the highest number of videos we've uploaded in a day, Beth?
Usually it's not between 8 to 10.
8 to 10.
Yeah, if you have a lot of videos. It depends on the editing, you know.
Right, depending on
what time we are here.
How long it takes her to edit things. We often upload 8 to 10, and we just uploaded 11 a couple of days ago. In fact, there are people who say, please don't upload so many videos, I can't keep up. Well, I'm sorry, that's a problem that you'll have to handle on that, okay? But we're going to keep on doing what we can, because we can't do anything else. It's in our nature to do what we're doing, and I guess it's in the nature of others to do what they are doing. Unfortunately, they have as equal access to making videos which are incorrect, libelous, defaming, whatever you want to call it, unfair, criminal in my mind, and they have as much access.
We cannot report that to the NBI.
Well, if the man that's doing the editing of our videos is in the west coast of America, I don't know whether they listen much to the NBI, which is part of the Filipino justice system.
There's online about it. There's a online case about it, you know.
Oh, there is? I didn't know about
because
this. See, what happens is this, Beth.
Yeah.
But I've become a bit technophobic. I don't really watch these other programs, these other channels. You know, after a while of watching a lot of negative crap, I just kind of tune out, and I go back and I look at all of my job, as I've said many times before. Beth, I make the videos like right now, along with Beth. We have our little things that we do. We have our little conversations where we act silly so that we'll entertain, and we do those and we have fun ourselves. And then we have our serious things that we do, which is usually me. Well, we do that, and then Beth edits those, and she's very good with the computer, and she edits them. And when we go to the internet cafe, which we're still having to go to because of the signal here, well, we go there, and while she uploads the various videos that we've made, I attend to your comments. And now we're getting a lot of comments. I delete a lot of them. Actually, not a lot of them, but I delete those that are full of crap. And then there are others. Well, let me ask you, what would you do if you had someone that says, you're a scammer? Oh, what shall I do with that? Should I delete that? Honey, should I delete this one? I delete it and I block the guy, whoever. That's what I do. Well, wouldn't anybody do that? And if you think about that for a moment, look at our videos. Look at the videos. I get people who, they're obviously intelligent, caring, righteous people, and they're asking questions which have already been answered. So in other words, what's evidently happening on some of the questions we get is that the person has seen maybe 1 or 2 videos and is motivated to ask a question. Well, what's happened to that money, or what's happened to this, or what did you do there, and how much is your truck? And I've answered all of those questions. We've got 80, how many?
865
videos. We've dealt with a lot of those questions. So now, if I bother to answer those questions at all, it can be, look at the videos. And that's what you should do. If you want to know what happened and when, everything that we've done in the last 3, going on 4 months now, in which we've been active on YouTube, anything that we've done is all there, right down to the centavo, as Beth is like that. She's centavo-minded, and she puts everything down. She records everything that we receive, whether it's for a project or whether it's for us. People do send us money, which they want us to use for ourselves, which we do. And that's really the situation. So, enough waffling on from me, but irrespective of how firm people are who support us, of saying, don't address the criticisms, well, sometimes you have to, and sometimes you feel like you need to, and that's where I've been today. So, while I'm here, 2 little things that I would like to say. Mrs. Keebler, I hope and pray that you are feeling better. And let me see, we received a box yesterday which we had to chase down after long hours in the truck, and we managed to find it, and we opened it last night, and that's from Terry and, oh gosh, have I gone and forgotten, Lynn? I'm not quite sure, but I get the impression it's Terry and daughter. Thank you so much. As you can see, coincidentally, it turned cold today, so I'm wearing the sweater. Thank you for all that you do, all of